Hi, my name is Mohammed, and in this video we'll learn about the Java string class and the actions that we can do with it. So let's get started. Now, the good thing about string is that, as I said in the previous videos, string is a reference data type or an object. So we can say, for example, we're having name as a string. We can, after typing the variable name, can press dot, then we can see a bunch of actions we can do for this string. We can get the character at some position. For example, at position 0 we will get D, and we can get the length of a string and a bunch of other actions. We won't discuss all of these, and you don't really need to understand all of them. You only need to understand one of the actions in case you really need to use them. Now let's get started with seeing these actions. First we're having charAt. But before I discuss this action, I want to tell you that Java interrupt strings as a bunch of or a collection of characters, and each character has a position, or we say index. For example, D having an index 0, A are having an index 1, and N is having index 2, and we start counting from left to right, starting from 0, not from 1. And this is an important thing in programming. Wherever we are counting, we start counting from 0. Right now, let's see named character at 0. This method or this action returns the character at some position or some index. For example, character at 0 returns D. If we set character at 1, we should return A. The return type or the result of this action is returned as a character. Then we are printing this character. Now, what should happen if we try to print the character at 3? Here we are accessing a character or an index outside the bounds of the array of the string. So if we try to run this statement, we should get an error. Let's try this. As you can see here, we first printed the D as a character at 0, then there was an exception or an error, string index out of bound exception, because we are accessing some character outside the bound of the bounds of the string. So let's make it a comment again so that it won't produce an error. Now let's see this method. This method takes or simply concatenate this string with name, just like this one plus operator, and the return of this action should be a string. Then we print the string. Then we having this action equalsIgnoreCase. Now this action simply compares name with this name, and we are ignoring cases, which means that if we're having here capital D, then we can have small d. It really won't matter. So in this case, if we compare this one with this one, then the comparison is true, because this returns a boolean, so either true or false, and we print this boolean. Then we're having name.length, and this simply returns an integer describing the number of characters in the string. In this case we're having 3. Then we have replace. It replaces some character in the string with another character, and it replaces every occurrence of this character. So every D here will be replaced with A, and the result of it will be the new string. Alright, so in this case we will replace D with A, so we'll have A, and N. Okay, then we're having substring. Substring returns a string inside name, in this case, starting and the bounds of the string is from 0 to 1, so from index 0 up to 1. So in this case we will return DA as another string, and then we'll print the string. Now if we try to make it to have only one input, then by default this is the same as going from 0 to the end, the string from the end index. So if we try to make a substring 0, then we will have the same string, Dan. If we try to make it 1, then we will go from A to N, and so on. Then we have to lowercase and to uppercase. This simply returns the string as another string with all characters being lower cases, and to uppercase returns the string with all returns the string making all characters capital letters. Alright, now we're having trim. Trim is good for removing the trailing spaces. So if we're having spaces on the start of the string, the first character, in this case is a space, then we can remove it, and we can remove the spaces at the end. Then we here see name.contains. Name.contains returns a boolean. Contains simply check whether Anna is inside name, which is Dan, or not. For example, in this case Anna is not inside Dan, but if we're having Anna here, then it will return true. So here we see that Java tells us before we run the program that this condition is always true, which means it's always true for Anna to be inside the string. But if we try to remove Anna here, then we see Java saying is always the condition is always false. Okay, now if we run the program, let's see all the results. We should see here named character at 0 to be D, and here we will concatenate Dan with Smith, so we'll be having Dan, Smith, and then there is a space in between them. Then if we compare Dan with Dan, we should get true. The length of the string is 1, 2, 3. If we replace D from each occurrence of D inside the string, we should get AAN. Then we have named substring, which as I said takes a substring from this string starting from 0 to 2, and I'm sorry about this, it takes from 0 to 2 minus 1, so in this case from 0 to 1, so we get DA. Then we have to lowercase and to uppercase. As you can see here, then here is all lowercase and here it's all uppercase. Then we can remove, as I said, the spaces from the start and the end from the string, like this. Then we check if Anna is contained inside Dan or not, and it's not. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.